I know that this topic is not a topic of conversation that we all like to have, but this is very much so needed. I'm Shamani Brown. This is Miss Patricia Lattimore, who also represents with me as Miss Lattimore's been in this business longer than I have, but I started, and I call it death care, because we are caring for you and your loved ones at a time of need of death. I've been doing this since 2003. I started working in the cemetery and then got into insurance. And I'm the person to share some stories with you guys, some funny and some not so funny. We've seen fights, physical fights with family members in the funeral home, at the gravesite. We have seen, when I first started at the cemetery, it was kind of like, you had the cemetery employees and the funeral home. And a lot of people do not know that the two are separate. So we used to, in the cemetery, we used to say that it was kind of like the Bloods and the Crips. Because once some of the funeral homes hit the gates of the cemetery, we were like, no, we'll take over. And it was kind of like a battle. So we have those stories too. But with us being here in the church, I wanted to, and we get this a lot, people want to be funny and say, oh, they want to wait for the rapture. But I would like to let everybody know, do not worry. We have a rapture we from home. It just depends on which gate you're going to put your people in. Okay? So, like I said, I have heard it all. Which gate, right? Okay. So I've heard it all. See, hey, they are. So, but just so you guys know, so the Bible does several times reference passages about us tending to our affairs and leaving a legacy. And it may not directly say or reference funerals, but I kind of counted about 16 different passages. And one of the passages I want to share is Genesis 50, chapters 24 and 25. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised, on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath, and God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place. Joseph prepares for his death by ensuring his remains are treated according to his wishes. That is why we are here with you guys today and all of you joining us online. This is according to your wishes. You are in the presence of two women that will make sure you have to sit across from your family looking to get a check or take a little bit of something off. You know what I'm talking about. Take a little bit of something off. That will not happen. Whatever you write down and share with us, we will ensure those are your wishes. After sitting down and talking to us, it's okay if you don't like us. You can take whatever we prepared to do and go to another funeral director or funeral home. That's okay, but at least you have something prepared. I like to share the story of my great aunt that lives in Toronto. That when she passed away, which is the only one in the family lives to me, but when she passed away, us coming from the States and having to go to another country, I only had to sign 2 signatures. And then they allowed us to clean her home and pack things up and grieve because we didn't have to worry about planning. The only thing we had to purchase was a marker for her grave. And I felt such a relief that number one, she actually listened to me. She filled out the book that I gave her like years ago, but she did everything to the T. And it allowed us to grieve her. We got to her home church. She told her pastor, even with the programs, no one was to talk. We all just sang all her favorite hymns. And when I turned around to look at her church, it was a mega church, it was standing room only. So that's how I knew it was a woman that loved her church, but also loved God, and her church members also loved and appreciated her. So today, this is what we're coming to present to you, so that your family can have that ease. Some of you may not like all of them, but that's okay. We'll talk you through that, but we'll present. We have some games and surprises, and also we'll set some appointments. for you. And now let's introduce Mr. Bishop. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pastor First Lady, for being diligent about having your members come out and share this information. And like somebody said, you don't have to like this. You don't have to like this. But we're here to get you information, much needed information. Now, it's the first of the year, so what we're going to talk about is getting your house in order. Okay? What does that mean? Anybody? Somebody.
Getting your affairs in order.
Spiritual house in order.
That's right. We're going to talk about gathering information and putting it in an organized fashion. Okay? Simple as that. Getting your house in order is getting your information together. So however you choose to put it in a file box, in a dresser drawer, in a book, great books where you put information in, you have to gather the information together. The worst time to try to find information is when you pass your family members sitting in front of us, trying to figure out where the life insurance policies are, where discharge papers are, birth certificates, marriage certificates, the paperwork that we're going to start doing that. We're going to start doing that today when you get home. When you sit there and watch the television, we have no football games tomorrow. So we're going to start working on that next weekend, okay? Secondly, we're going to discuss with our loved ones what our wishes are, okay? We don't have that talk. We don't want to do it, but we have to do it. And you do it in the way you see is fit for your family, your loved ones. It might just be sitting around the table on Sunday. It could be while you're sitting at the edge of the bed and just throw out a little statement. You know that pink dress in there is really nice. I could see myself in there. And your husband might say, "Why are you thinking about that now?" "Oh, I just thought about how pretty I was looking." What do you think, honey?
Amen. Amen.
Or you might just say, I think after it's all said and done, I just want to be cremated. We go on a cruise, y'all sprinkle my ashes and we do it again. What's the story? Oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. What are you talking about? Well, what do you want me to do? Okay? You got to do something. You got to talk about it. You got to do it. Okay? The third thing we want to talk about is putting our plan in action. And what are we going to do? We're going to start talking to the professionals. And we're here today to help you put your plan in action. Okay? So that means making appointments with us or someone, whatever funeral home you want to use, whatever cemetery you want to go to. And you're going to start talking to them about this is what I want to do. I want to start prepaying, pre-planning, protecting my family, having peace of mind, putting my wishes in writing. Okay? There's something. We're going to do three things. We're going to do that starting today, February 1st. Having a plan, getting our information together. Okay? Very good. Discussing with our loved ones. Having a talk. Very simple. Let's start taking it. Very simple. All right. Got some questions for you. You got the answers. It's going to be real easy. My first question is, can you prepay your funeral? Yes. Explain to me, Pastor, how you do this.
Well, this is how me and my wife did it. 15 years ago, we went shopping for our funeral arrangements. So we went and paid for our opening and closing, our vault, our casket, and our plot. We set up a planning. We paid for it. I think it was about 3 years, 3 to 4 years.
You do monthly installments.
Yeah, and it was paid off. So that part of our planning is done. It's in the folder and the file cabinet set for me and my wife.
Okay, he didn't answer my question.
What was your question? It was yes. What?
What did you do? He paid for the cemetery.
Oh,
And you think everything is done, right?
no, no, no,
No,
ho,
no,
ho, ho, ho. No, we, the church we was in, we had all that taken
No,
care
no,
of.
no. That's not what she's saying. That's not,
That's not what I'm saying.
no,
What
prepaid
he
for your
just did-
funeral, you cannot. You have to, when you go to the funeral home, that's when all of that is put in place. I mean, even though you have your paper in front of you, all your info, your stuff that you have paid for, but you still have the
The service.
the service part you have to pay for
Okay,
with the
that's
funeral.
exactly right.
Yes,
A lot of people confuse the cemetery. with the
exactly.
funeral home.
Yes.
I've gotten everything taken care of. I got the plot, the
Mhm,
opening, closes,
mhm.
the vault, and a casket.
Mm-hmm.
I even bought a casket at the cemetery. And probably a representative might have said, you're all taken care of.
Right.
And they never think about the funeral side.
Well,
And then when the death occurs, they call it, I'll be cut you off.
no, go ahead. No, you good, you
They
good.
call the cemetery when they call. The family calls, the cemetery doesn't answer after hours. It's the funeral home that is the first step. So, again, you got one part taken care of, this is the
Right.
second part.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the second part?
The funeral home. The question was, can you prepay the funeral?
Right.
You prepay the
So,
cemetery.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The opening and closing.
So
and
you
all
talking
that.
about the service?
No. Well,
Picks up your loved
body.
one from the place of death,
Right.
prepares the body,
Right.
takes them to church,
That's
or
not
the
paid for.
chapel, and then
Now
takes you
you
to
see
the
what I
cemetery
say in that
for the
contract.
crematory.
They ain't
Or
gonna
picks you up and
you
takes
gotta
you to
pay
the
them to
Ex-
switch the bodies.
Ex-
That's what they talking about, Pastor.
Yeah.
Okay.
The herbs, the lemon tea, the flowers,
So
the
I
programs.
Right.
got to check. I think we paid for the
No.
program
No,
at Cedar Hill. Yes, we did. I'm gonna check. Just
No.
let me check. So I think we paid for. We ain't worrying about where the service gonna be, but I think we paid for them to pick up the body and everything. We paid for all that. Yes, we did. Trust me, we did.
So we have something to do when we get home. We're gonna
Yeah.
try to make sure the funeral is taken care of at the
Right,
cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And the facility that you're at
Mhm.
has both, Cedar Hill.
Right. That's how I know we did it.
I used to manage that funeral home. So there's two components, the funeral home and the cemetery.
Right.
You could have gone to one and not gone to the other,
Right.
or go to both. If you have a good counselor, they're gonna say, now that you're finished at the cemetery, why don't you go upstairs and talk to the funeral home?
That's what they did. Yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I don't
First
remember.
lady did,
No, we
No,
did all
I
that.
said, I'm
My
gonna
wife
call
just
them.
don't remember.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna
That's
get,
okay.
I'm gonna get confirmation
Right.
because I'm gonna
Confirmation
call on Monday to make sure that all of that, everything is taken care of.
today. Okay.
Yes, because I do remember the major part, the ground part, but the part of paying them when it takes place, I don't remember that part.
And that's
Who?
No, Ralph didn't do us.
No,
He just turned us on. We went to Cedar Hill,
We went
and
to
they-
Washington.
which is Cedar Hill, honey. We went into Cedar Hill, and they said
Yeah,
that.
but I'm saying we went on the Washington. We didn't go.
We went on the Cedar
We'll
Hill
check on
side.
that side.
We went on the Cedar Hill side, not Washington side. They don't have office.
We can only buy your caskets and urns from the people.
That's right.
I need a hand and I need an explanation. Somebody got the answer.
No, you don't have to buy it from the funeral home. You don't have to.
Okay?
You don't have to,
Everybody
because
hear that? Yeah.
now let me explain to you why. I did the work on the cremation place off Kenilworth Avenue. I take care of their HVAC and plumbing, right? And they sell urns in there, and I can purchase it right from them.
So you can buy your caskets from anybody. You can buy it online,
Mm-hmm.
Costco sells. But understand, one size does not fit all,
Right.
okay? Wherever. And they have to be delivered to the funeral home at the time of your death. So when anybody tell you, you have to get it to the funeral home. Yes, we would like you to purchase it, but you don't have to. You have the right to purchase. Okay, as long as the cemetery accepts it, it's a the standard size is completely correct.
This
Okay.
means that we don't have a big sale in the parking lot, so y'all can purchase them and store them.
You can make your own casket if you're
I did. I did.
We have a parking lot sale.
That was me.
You gotta close your
Oh,
eyes.
what do you do with that? Okay, very good. So pass
Oh,
it.
you got your water.
Okay. So okay, the funeral home dictates how much money you spend on your funeral.
No.
Need explanation?
Because.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You was-
Because you, the person, they're providing a service to you. So you tell them what it is you want to do. They don't dictate to you what you want.
So you understand that when you go to the funeral home,
Go
go
ahead.
with your budget in mind.
Peggy Lee.
If you have not bring a friend, and today, tomorrow. Are for X, Y, and Z, what you want to do, okay? We don't. Tell us what it is you want to do. Okay? One guy. The thing you have to have for you say you want to go to church, at the minimum, you're gonna need a hearse, to take the body to church. You're gonna need a casket. It's gonna be an open casket. If so, we have to enroll the body. And
See, I remember when we were sitting there and see the head. Now, before you call, check our paperwork. Our paperwork should tell us everything.
You choose. Stay in your budget, you know what you want to spend, what you have to spend. And don't overspend. Okay? And then you're mad at us later when you're looking for the check. Or you credit card. Now, to see what the cost is. In your packet, I put in areas in this area, you see what the costs are. That's the second part, the cemetery. Funeral homes, of course, pretty much, it's like a cemetery. Our prices are our prices, but all private cities, they are. You have a funeral home choice. They should tell, they have to take. If you walk in, they have to give you a price list. Not at all, they have to. Okay?
And so so she shared when she was pregnant. I interviewed 5 doctors during my pregnancy. I needed to see like where their mind was, it's not to feel comfortable. For some people, it's very emotional and it's very mental. So we cannot tell you how to approach this process for yourself and for your family. So calls, you can see how they take care of the property. All these things are made to help you. I know I cracked a joke about buying the casket, but we actually have met people, they have their casket and they have it decorated, some as they're talking to them in the living room, some have it restored. But it's all in how you want to approach the process. I have a lady, she doesn't have any kids, but she planned her service and her repast. He put his house at $10,000. I was like, wow. Okay, that's what he wanted because he says the cemetery was once a huge mound after he's in the ground committed with a dispute. He always has children, but it's all about what you want. And nobody can tell you what you do. Yes, sir.
Yeah, feel like,
Yeah.
what's the circumstances you need to have?
The casket has to come through the door. It's not the door through the window. You have to remember, that's what they used to do.
Did that for my father.
His question was, can you have a funeral at your house?
Yes, you can.
And Hispanics still do it now. They still do it.
I know we did it for my father.
They do it more in the South.
Yeah.
That used to be prior to me coming into funeral service, that was still a big thing, bringing the casket to the house to do your wake. Because that's what waiting is.
Right.
Yeah.
Sitting with the body all night long.
That's right.
And they brought the caskets to the house. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the question is, the whole burial, the funeral home process, and everything. Right. At that point, the price would be,
Average funeral in our community, 7,000 to 8,000. White community, 12,000 to 14,000. Cemeteries, you can look at the chart. Most of the cemeteries here are corporate owned. They start at 10,000, walking in the door and go up.
so, is that everything? I mean, that's, you know, occupying the funeral.
One thing I didn't include on the chart is the memorials and headstones and markers. Because they, the ride and prices in the range area. So you can go to the ferry, you can go to the memorial company, you can go to the funeral home. So those prices will vary so much.
And the different sections in the cemetery will dictate what type of marker, grave marker you use. Your own, when you have your own, you have to follow the rules of the cemetery. So just like you said, you can purchase within the cemetery, you can make outside vendors, and you can go online, but you have to follow the rules of that section.
So she's asking you make your own marker and that stuff.
It would have to be like,
Specifications.
Okay, as long as it's in the specs.
You have to look at the specs.
Okay.
When you cut marble, when you cut
Yeah.
bronze, we do all of that. Yes, sir.
Question, with the life insurance, funeral home, and the burial be, can it all be in one package, where you can get everything at once?
It's up to the funeral home and the cemetery. You're talking about putting all the charges together at one time? Some cemeteries allow it, some want to do their own paperwork. Some funeral homes don't want to put the cemetery bill on their bill and pay the check. It just depends.
Like, I guess if y'all have a funeral home and a cemetery,
No, I don't have a funeral home and a cemetery. I don't own a cemetery.
I mean, well, y'all dealing with funeral home and a
In the
cemetery.
cemetery, right, so it depends. I'm the kind of person, I try to make it easy on the family. I know what your cemetery charges are, your family went over there, did everything, got the bill, brought it to me. There's one policy, you wanna put it all together and have one bill. I will write a check to the cemetery. Once your insurance clears. And take it over to the cemetery won't do the opposite. They won't pay us. So if you do everything over there, you say, I wanna use this same policy for here at the funeral home too. They're gonna say, well, you need to go to the funeral home.
Right.
Do their own paperwork. It's going to the same insurance company. But
It's dirt.
most of them don't work that way. Yes. Sir. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. You walk in to the funeral
I
home
was thinking
first.
that, I was thinking that y'all was offering, combined service.
package.
Okay.
Package service.
I don't have a cemetery, but I can work with a cemetery and say, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna pre-need.
I thought this was like a combined life insurance.
So you can talk about that.
Life insurance. So here's the thing with life insurance. So life insurance does not do price guarantee, right? Because you can sit here and plan, you say, okay, well, I can assign my life insurance policy to the funeral home. Unless the cemetery, I'm just saying, agrees to lock in today's prices, let's say you go get a $25,000 policy, you have another 15 years. Like, your family might have to pay 15-year prices for that. So you have to remember that. So, and then now with a lot of
them in this area being corporate owned now, while being corporate owned, they may not go for that.
You get this done first, and then you. Okay.
It's like first move, y'all.
It depends on the state.
You do that.
Depends on the state and your property. That's a, not a yes or no. Do you own that property? Are you gonna be there for eternity? Is it a subdivision? Is it your property?
So, state to state.
State to state.
I know what's
Right.
substance that how it should be done, and they take, but in some states, they do allow you to.
I mean, in the country, you own all that property.
Further away than.
Hold on.
Was that here?
From all them things, they talking about four sides.
Land, you get your land that you own. Yeah, just go to the county and ask them. Just call them, you know, at some point I wanna use my land and have my family here. But I just did a baby down in Virginia. It was my family, but they had family land down in Virginia. We put the baby there, had it buried. They have the land deeded to be a cemetery for their family.
Yeah.
It's family property, and that's what they're gonna do. They have the right to do that.
But once you
Yeah,
bury
wait.
one person on that land, it needs to be a cemetery.
Yes, you have
Depends
to.
on the state, you gotta talk to
You have to.
how the laws are. But they've already taken care of that.
Him and then her.
Oh, I have a question. Piggybacking on what she was saying, would you highly recommend or suggest that a person should have two separate policies, one for the church, well, one for the funeral home, and then one for the cemetery? Because I agree with what she's saying. I'm from Detroit, and my dad just passed about 2 years ago, and she's right. They wouldn't take the policy under one. Like you were saying, we had to go separate the expenses. And also my other question is, do you prefer full-term or term life that you accept?
So hold on, so seriously, when you go to the cemetery, it's not written
Right.
on quote unquote insurance. You're paying them directly to pay it off.
Right.
Your funeral, you're paying to pay it off. Insurance, you keep paying, you're paying, you're paying. You have a term has limits.
Right.
You have a whole life, a universal, that's you keep going, it accrues, it goes up interest and all that stuff. So what we're talking about here, once it's paid, it's paid.
Okay.
So there's you don't keep going on the increase. This is different from traditional life insurance. So a lot of people, a lot of families, they'll say, oh, I have a life insurance policy. My big mama did. She had policies on everybody. Used to be able to right? So but once you're paid up, the package we put together for you with your funeral home, you're paid. Once you pay on your package at the cemetery, it is paid in money. You really don't. Because now you have to start thinking of your life insurance policies as your legacy. And if you can, I tell some, I don't know what something from, but some people, they're like, oh, I'm not worried about my kids, I'm about my grandbabies. Right? So you think of it as your legacy or to help pay taxes. Well, the state of Maryland, when you pass on, you don't pay bills. They're done. Whatever's in your name, it's a wrap. We'll discuss that when I'm over the yes, you have a but yes. So that's how we want you guys to think of this and approach this. Once you're done paying this, you're done. Once you're done paying the cemetery, you're done. Now, if you just can't afford it, because you want to keep your life insurance policy, you sit down and we go over that, and you may have enough, then we will encourage you to start interviewing the funeral homes, because some will say, oh, okay, if you want me to take care of it, we'll take this on it, I'll do it for you. And then go with that. Some will.
Yes, when you talk about the funeral home and then the gravesite, it's like my sister-in-law passed away, my niece went to the funeral home. We had to go there first to get, get everything in order there. Then they told us to go to the grave site, and then we had to go there to pay separately for the opening and closing, and for the ground and all of that. So yeah, it's money. It's a difference. Yeah, it's two separate. Yes, two separate bills. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But you can do all that at Cedar Hill.
They have a combo, they have a cemetery and a funeral.
Right.
Right.
But if
Yeah.
that's not your choice, you don't wanna go to that funeral home.
Right.
You go somewhere else, but go to that cemetery.
Right.
You have to go to the funeral home
Yeah.
that you wanna use.
Right, and then
And
you go.
then
Yep.
we'll ask you which cemetery you go.
Exactly.
And cremated afterwards.
Right.
You'll say in your case, we're going to Cedar Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if you think, in fact, you did go to Washington funeral home, you have two separate entities.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like Cedar Hill, Fort, and Lincoln are called combos because they got a funeral home and cemetery.
Right.
It's still two separate entities. They just happen to have medical there.
Same spot.
Yeah.
But they run as two separate. Yes, sir.
Right, with cremation, right? So if you just get cremated, you don't have to worry about the cemetery.
Right, unless you know you want to have the cremated memorialized. So that's
Yeah, go ahead.
another option.
Because
When you're getting cremated, what's gonna happen to my cremated remains? Someone taking them home, or you put them in the closet, forget about me? You know, put them on the shelf and see me every day? Or you know, bury me in the backyard, or you gonna take me to a cemetery, put me in there? Don't you in there? We're going to scatter. So those are all the other options you have to take. Who do with cremated? What's gonna happen to you?
Heritage.
Mhm.
What, are you familiar with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Where it says all, included. What's, is that cheaper?
They have one package price,
Mm.
whereas the other, if there's prices there, those are all the costs. Yes, ma'am.
So if I were to make, if I were to make arrangements, say, and I pass away and the funeral home is no longer in business, how does that work? Do they transfer
Very good
yourself over?
question. When you're making pre-arrangements, like he's talking about, ask the funeral home, how do you trust the funds? What vehicle are you using to put this money aside? So that when I pass, our family doesn't have to worry about it. If you go out of business, if you move, decide to go to another funeral home, how easy is it to move my money? When we do pre-arrangement, all the funds are trusted in what's called pre-need insurance company. And it's a policy that is transferable. We never see your money, we don't touch your money, we have no access to it until you die. When you pass, your family will reach out to us, or if you move to that funeral home and say, my loved one had a pre-arrangement, here's the policy, it's a pre-need policy. Do you accept this?
So you saying if my family moves out of state, no matter what, y'all still cover, y'all send the funds to someone else?
That, it's all in an insurance policy, it's a pre-need policy. That funeral home down there will do the services, and they contact that company, and they send them the funds.
I would say do the same process. If you move, you go into that area, see the people, look up who the funeral homes are. Do the same you can. Go take a look, walk around. You know, if you have a cemetery property up here, you have to talk to them because you pay for your plots up here. Are you being transferred back to Maryland? So you have to contact the cemetery here and try and figure out if you can transfer it on the, into corporate, some of the corporate. If you have a property down, you say you go to Florida, down in Florida, you transfer all that. So that's another part of your questions. If you relocate or you retire someplace else, you're adding another expense or weird that you might have to pay transportation costs.
Oh, I'm gonna finish up and say, so be sure to ask that funeral home, where are my funds trusted? Years ago, they used to co-mingle the funds with their everyday operating funds. Now, where's my money? And the owner dies tomorrow and the kids are left run a funeral home, they don't wanna run it. They just close and walk away. What happened to my money? So you have to ask. And you have to understand and know what they're talking about. And if they say, yeah, we put it in a money market account, blah, blah, I need to see a statement. They're supposed to send you a statement every year. Where your money is, how much interest it accrued over the year. Because somebody's responsible for the taxes on the increase. When you put it in a money market or in the bank. Now who's paying the taxes? If you don't pay the taxes on the interest, or they're sending you a tax statement. But they have the right now, they have changed the law, especially in Maryland, they have, it used to be you had to put it in a certain type of account, it could only be in a dedicated account. Each pre-need had to have its own account. Now they're letting them put it in one big account, but you have to be able to split them up and say, how much is your account, how much is your account, how much is your account. That's kind of tricky, and that's a lot of paperwork.
So once we pay for everything, we still have to pay taxes on it after now?
If the funeral home, you have to ask them as a business, how are they funding your pre-need? Where are they putting their money? Because they have the right to do whatever they want to do. Okay.
So you may ask them the cemetery.
Yeah, but it's somewhere in there. There's some cemeteries that go on this.
Yes, they do.
But we are, in the state of Maryland, you are protected. If something happened, and this is just an aside, if that funeral home went out of business, they left, took all the money and never returned and nobody could find them. There are funds, there's a fund set up in the state of Maryland through the board of morticians, that all funeral homes have to pay into, and it covers just in case that happens. The family will file a claim with the state board, and they'll pay the funeral out of the fund. And that fund stays at a minimum of $1 million. It's very rare that they have to go into the fund, but, you never know. Something could happen. But, I talk to funeral homes and I go around and I talk to owners and try to classify them. It's so much easier to do the pre-need policies. No paperwork on their part. You don't have to do annual reports. You don't have to send out tax statements to your families because the money's not under your control. It makes more sense. And you don't have the temptation of dip it into the bank account and take it.
What about if you're paying, you've been paying on your clock, say you have 3 clocks,
That's the
and
cemetery.
you've been paying for it. And, then you're called from the director, I think. So, like I said, after you finish your other phone call, you can call the state,
Cemetery oversight.
Exactly.
They have a group that handles cemeteries. Funeral homes are under the purview of the state board of morticians. Cemeteries is the cemetery oversight.
Okay.
You know, once you
But
pay
just
for
for
it.
information, so everybody else go through it. My husband and I got there to find out what they call it to come in for. And I told my husband, I said, God has some plots, because I want to look at the ground and everything, because they had put new ground down back in the back of grass. So we went there, and my husband said, is it my detail plots? I said, yeah. I said, because somebody was there in my plot. So we went in and met with the director, and he said there was a glitch in the system. They sold our plot to someone else. I said, well, how can you do a glitch when your computer reset and your representative put all the information in for those plots and it distributed us our final contracts? So what kind of glitch was it? That's not logic to me. And then I asked him, I said, did you have a relative or friend that gave you the money and you put them in it? No, I said, because those are our clocks. We've been playing hand on.
I said, you just gonna have to move between people. I said, because that's not. He said, no, we can't do that. And you can't. Turn to and to get help and after speaking with her, she did give me some information.
Good gracious,
Yeah,
the
so, that's-
And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
They say, but it does. I do disinterments. Funeral director comes out to make sure everything is okay, the casket's okay, the vault's okay, because the body has to come out of that casket and go to another one. And it happens, I've been in a number of cemeteries, where people got buried in the wrong spot. The cemetery is responsible for moving. It's up to you. You will work out what you want to do. Do you want to keep those sites and have them moved from the other site? If you are adamant about that site, they have to move them. And they have to pay us to come out there and for you to stand out there and say, yep, the casket, the vault, the cemetery has to pay for it. Because remember, the warranty was vaults for 50 years. Anything's wrong with the vault, they have to replace it. Anything's wrong with the casket, they gotta replace it. Because the vault was supposed to be a casket. So if they do a disinterment, they have to pay for it. Don't get the satisfaction, call the cemetery oversight committee, I'll make them do it. It happens, human error, yeah. Glitches in the system, you know, but those in the computer is like human. Okay, but they can take care of it. Yes.
So what's the process of being shipped to another state?
Well, put you on the plane or something.
Well, I know that. I know it's gonna, I know
Oh,
it's
no,
gonna
I don't
cost.
want to fly right now.
I mean, yeah, right. I know it's gonna cost more,
But
of
it,
course.
well, it depends on where you're going. It's a lot cheaper to fly somewhere than it is to be buried here, as you can see the prices. And a lot of families do that. They came from North Carolina, South Carolina. They grew up, the family grew up there, they moved here, had a life. But they go back home to North Carolina to be buried at the church cemetery. But it doesn't cost them anything. And the flight's gonna cost. But they're going right here, they're going back to North Carolina, either they drive you there, or depending on how far it is and what time of the year. So it's cheaper, probably under $1,000 for a flight to somebody. Or to- Most of the time, most parts of North Carolina, we just drive.
What about Detroit, Michigan? Take it to them.
Because during football season, I'm like, no, but they all do is call the airline to get the price. So, you know, we want to have a service here, and then go back to Detroit. You have to think about that. Or do a service, or just when I pass, pick me up and buy me, put me in the shipping tray, send me to the funeral home. Detroit. So it's just up to you what you want to do. Okay. Yes, sir.
Are all bodies involved?
Question, that was one of my questions. See, now you got the head. All right. Is embalming required by the law?
All bodies are involved.
Answer first, you gotta tell me why.
Because Muslims don't do that.
Okay, who else?
Cap,
Most of the people in the West,
Muslims. Okay, he said Muslims don't get involved, Jews don't get involved. There's another reason why you may have to get involved. Because I mentioned it one time.
Cremated? And,
depend on where you being buried.
If you have a closed casket. If you got a
Closed casket, right.
Closed casket.
That's
not
it,
to be
closed
used by the
casket.
public. You don't have to be involved. Direct burial, you don't have to be involved. I have one Monday, it's a direct burial. It's up to you.
So what's the specific reason?
Those reasons, you're a Muslim, you're a Jew, that's right.
For moving.
For
actually being
to have you
involved.
viewed by the public.
Right.
So we just make your skin not look.
We keep you,
Reserved.
we're preserving you for a funeral to be viewed by the public. So it's for your protection and our protection,
And the view.
okay? We're not mummifying you, we're not gonna last for thousands of years. We want you to hold up for the funeral. Once you go anywhere, we're done. That,
So it's cosmetic, it's only cosmetic, nothing
and
else.
we're preserving the body also. Now, what other cemeteries, if you're going into a mausoleum, excuse me, they require embalming now.
Wow.
Even if you're not viewed, if you're going in the mausoleum, you know, hold it.
Right.
I'm sorry. Because what happens if you're not embalmed?
Rigor mortis, all that smell.
And if you ever walked into an older mausoleum and it smells, that's why.
Yes.
There are some of them who never embalmed. So now they figured it out, they got embalmed. So they'll last. Yes, sir.
So like, you want to do cleaning, like, if I want like a special event, like I say, I want my body dumped in the ocean or something like that, do y'all help
Yes.
that process?
We can arrange any wishes anybody wants. It's just, if you have the funds, we can make it happen.
So his question was,
Money makes anything, so.
So let's say, so we're on a cruise ship, so you have one person, they want a party. They said they want a party. Don't assume this, so like, okay, well, I was gonna go to the party.
What a
Everybody
party.
has, so, and to go on a cruise ship, depending on the cruise line, and where they're going, or where you wanna go, you have to follow those laws of that country.
That's what the Bible
and
says.
as we speak, I'm putting the.
All that's in the Bible.
Seriously, I am.
So me, so really.
Leaving out of Baltimore to do scavenger of cremains. Because I've been talking to people about it for years, and finally I said, you know what, let's just do this, because that's what I want. I want my daughter to take her cremains. I want to cruise, I love cruising.
And then
Just don't.
throw it in the ocean.
Yeah.
So when you say going to cruise, that means the person that questioned it.
I ain't doing that.
For a cruise line?
No, what's gonna happen is, it's gonna be a cruise for those who want to scavenger, we're gonna do a memorial service on the ship and other activities, but at one point, we're gonna do the scattering. You have to be at least 3 miles out from the coast before it can be done. It's up to the cruise line, and we'll work that out, exactly what they were gonna do.
So I went there and I decided I want to be cremated. I decided I want my ashes to pay for that.
You know, you need to talk to your loved ones, you're gonna have to take your cremains there to have it done.
So that's what we're asking.
That's the budget,
If
yeah.
y'all had a package, right? Y'all would do it the way y'all do it. Do we pay for the shipment of the ash?
Yeah.
They're gonna bring them, well, see, well, they're gonna bring them on the ship, it's got to be in a special
So
container.
let's say if it's his wife,
Okay.
he's gonna pay for his wife's ticket, so he wants to include that.
But she doesn't have to pay them. Who's gonna be cremated? Okay. So she just has to take her cruise and bring them with her.
So I think earlier in the question that he was asking was, would you all take care of that? Would you all take the ashes and get on the ship and take it so we ain't doing?
Oh, yeah, I can do that, yeah, if you
So
pay, yeah.
if you guys get it, would I pay for the trip? The ashes are gonna go with you.
Yeah, you have to pay, you have
Can I
to pay
have
for the service. So you wanna go, right.
So everybody else that want to come have to take it.
Right. Okay, hey, let me say this, I cruise once a year. I definitely cruise at the end of the year. And if I knew somebody wanted me to take their cremains, I said, you gonna be taking with me on that cruise, or do you want it done a special time? Then you pay me for that special time. If not, I'm a nice person, I'll take you with me on my end of the year cruise. And have you said it. But if you want it to be,
Right, he's saying, if it's
That's
not.
great.
That's not-
That's great if you go to the same, I appreciate that.
I'll do the
Let's
same.
say let's try this. I don't have a wife, it's just me. I'm coming to you all, this is what I want to happen with my remains. So what I want to happen with my remains, is to be in New York, you know.
Okay.
For my remains to get there, I'm gone, I don't have a wife. For them to get there, do I purchase a ticket or pay for my remains to be moved there through you guys, or you just
we can
do
do
it?
that, yeah. We
Yes,
can do
you
that.
have to pay for that.
I have to pay for it
Right.
for the remains,
Right.
like the
Either
bird.
either they can
Like
be
a cert.
shipped to somebody in particular there in New York, or we can take them for
For
you. Either
you.
one. Because they have them shipped, cremated, packaged a certain way also. And do the postal service and a special package. And all that's done at the time. They have to weigh everything. And then overnight, express, special packages. And we don't know that cost, so we actually go to the post office. So I can say, let's put in 250 right now on the high end to make sure they're shipped to someone in particular. Or you can just base it. That's today's cost.
So if you wanna go to the Bahamas, yes, you have to pay the flight, you have to pay the hotel.
Yes, Pastor,
What's the reason? Why do people get cremated?
it's a choice.
Okay.
It's an expense.
But it also said ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Right.
So for some religions, it is, you have to be cremated. So it's only a Western, and so in West, us, in the US here, that it's a whole burial and ceremony that we do. So in other countries, cremation is it, because they reserve the land for the living. So for us, it's just a history and a culture, but it's supposed to be ashes to ashes.
So it's all environmental. If you talk to folks of Indian descent, they think what we do is horrible.
Yeah.
Embalming the body, putting in caskets. They do. Oh my gosh, no. We pick them up, go to the funeral place. So
I don't want to put a lot of my family with the burial. And sprinkle me across something and cost real.
talk to them about it, make them understand this is your bill. And I'm doing it for you. This is what I want. Okay, it's not because I'm dirt poor, I don't have any money, but I think this would be better for you, it's better for me. And I want you to remember me how you want to be remembered. Have a party.
Remember me not see me dead. Remember what I've done.
But you have to talk to you, because remember, we're the last.
It's only to my family now.
I think he should put that in the will.
Yeah.
No, don't put it in the will. Because remember, your will don't have to be probated, so whoever the person is gonna do it, the executive, probates it. That might be a year later. You don't put those kind of wishes in the will.
Okay. So if a loved one say, listen, I wish to be cremated, and he died, the wife said, well, you know, he wanted to be cremated, but I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna cremate him. I mean, then what? I seen it happen.
It happens all the time.
It happened. So he don't get cremated. So they showing, but you know, he'll forgive me.
In order to ensure that if your wishes are carried out, they have to be in writing. And
Well, if
signed
he
by-
want to be.
And signed by who?
cremated,
Signed
By
by the
him.
person making the arrangements. You're the only person that can say,
And who
for
that?
your power of attorney.
And who would have that paper?
Pardon?
Who would
You
have
make
that?
your pre-arrangements. That's putting it in writing. And
Okay.
by law, we have to execute your wishes.
Okay. So they put it in writings and
His pre-arrangement and it's prepaid, that is a contract with the funeral home. He has signed his cremation papers.
Right.
At the time of death, it has to be executed by the
Right.
funeral home. No one can come in and change it.
oh, okay.
Now, you want to take me to court, you can. Give me your attorney's name, I'm gonna send him the law for the state of Maryland. He's gonna take your money, we're gonna go to court, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna pay my court fees.
They already
Because they
paid.
don't have a leg to stand on. The law states you have to execute the contract done by the person. It is his body, his wishes.
So that person should really have his own insurance so that can get done.
Insurance does not do that. He has to put it in writing.
Well, I'm saying that person need to pay for that. Right. If I'm paying for that, I'm running the show. If I'm paying for it, I'm running the show. But if they paying for it, they running the show. Amen. That's how that works.
That's how it works. And it even bypasses the spouse and the children. Your spouse can fight all they want. Now, am I gonna go to court? because your spouse is sitting here, man, I didn't know he did that. Why didn't you tell me, blah, 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 man? It's, those were his wishes. Why don't you go ahead and think about it, talk to your kids. I don't wanna go to court. Now I got bad blood with this family. Never gonna come back to you. We're going to court.
Right.
So let's try to work this out.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
But, yeah, but I'm not gonna go to jail. I'm not getting my license pulled because I didn't do what you said. Because if the board ever came back and said, man, you were supposed to do this. So, you know, my statement's gonna be, if I'm gonna have to fight you, I'd rather you go to my okay? Because you did a pre-arrangement, it's in writing. I had the law behind me. And again, it's a touchy situation, you know?
Amen.
They gonna have me on Facebook and all the social media. I wouldn't do it like that. They ain't gonna say you already prearranged. They never do. You only see one side of the story. So
Right.
it's not worth the headache. Just go.
And we always tell people, you think you know your family.
Man.
Yeah.
All of us in here, we all know, weddings, funerals, when real money is involved, you will see a
It's gonna
different
be
side of people. Like you will not recognize your mother, your siblings, your children, your grandmother half the time. I've lived through it. So, and what we are trying to do is help you and help your loved ones do what we call emotional overspending because of that grief. You know, because people, it's a lot of guilt when a death happens, and guilt sometimes shows up. It sits in front of Miss Latimer.
I'll be crying.
And a lot of us know too how it used to be back in the day. You didn't have as honest as some funeral directors and funeral home representatives. All they saw was dollar signs and went through that door.
A little bit of money, I work.
Exactly,
I'm $17.95.
exactly. So remember these, you guys are seeing, you have experienced it. You just experience sometimes some people at the funeral home while the other ones at Big Mama's house raising the house. Y'all know those stories too. So this is what you're preventing. What you put in writing has to be honored. If you have bigger assets, that's also in a one-on-one conversation. We help you with bigger assets. That's when you have a lawyer involved. Then she has a copy in her file, or there's a copy. And once that happens, it's a that's it. Any other questions? Oh,
Yeah, so basically, the bottom line is that documentation is being recognized is the last stage of that scenario. So anybody come behind that and say, well, nah, I hear what he's saying. Yeah, he's gone now, but we're gonna burn him the way we want to burn him. That cannot be changed. It cannot be changed because that was his last order, so to speak.
well, here's the only way it's not, because the only way it will change if you're not paid in full. But say you start paying on this, you start paying on your cemetery. If it's not paid in full, or you don't have a different life insurance policy, then that's the only way things change.
Or if that individual that
You're halfway through, say, so you got the middle package is like $5,000, and you're $2,500. So whoever could come and say, oh, he's halfway paid, and that was another $2,500. Well, it says right here about cremate though, at the time, about 25, let's go to cremate.
Remember, valid contract is a paid contract.
It's a paid,
So it's not valid.
and that's not your wish.
So
I was basing it on a paid.
Right, so paid.
So- So say I'm paying on the policy, okay? And I'm paying monthly. I paid for 2 years. I pass away. Do they cover the whole policy? Or they say you make the difference? Because they set it up with us where if I pass away within 2 years, that policy is covered anyway.
That's the cemetery?
Yeah,
And it's the same with us, depending on your health issue.
Right.
If you're in excellent health, from the first payment and you pass, you're covered fully. Otherwise, if you have some health issues, then after 2 years.
right. That's what they say after 2 years.
So
No.
No, we're just talking about
This
is
is
the, is your premium all paid up?
Yeah, we
If
talking
you're
about,
paying monthly.
if you're paying for the pay label and it's not all paid, and you pay, y'all gonna cover it.
Again, health issues, because when we do pre-need, we run ours in pre-need insurance. When you answer the 2 health questions, are you know, you have, are you under a doctor's care, are you in the hospital? Are you in hospital? So you say no, and then it's on a list of other ailments. If you say no, I don't have those, then you're covered from day one. You make 3 payments and then you cancel. It's a pre-need. You know, check your doctor, make sure you didn't have all these on the day that you did the premium. If you in fact did not have any health issues, but he told you 3 months later, 2 months later you did, that's okay. On the day you signed it, you did not know when they had these health issues.
We
You're
got to
covered.
contact you that, y'all don't know.
We're gonna honor it, right, because they're gonna pay us in full.
Oh,
We not cremating you, Dirk.
oh, they got it. covered. Kinda late.
Yes, sir.
I got 2 parts.
Okay.
All right, so is this an insurance policy or is this just a burial policy?
I'm a funeral home. I do funeral.
Funeral policy.
Funeral,
And the other policy, like, so y'all don't even deal with insurance.
We do.
Because
If you say, I want to do my funeral with you, but I already have an insurance policy, I don't want to prepay, I don't want to put out any more money. At the time of death, my beneficiary is to use that policy and pay for my funeral. That's
this,
what's gonna happen.
this is the problem I was going through. My ex-wife, I was paying on her insurance policy. But I didn't know, I didn't have an idea of what insurance policy I was just getting money and just go. I didn't know anything about the insurance. So when she did pass, I'm still right now trying to figure out what I was paying.
Who did you give the money to?
I was giving it to her. Hey, she showed me. She sent me a receipt one time to my face. She texted me a receipt one time to show me that I paid, and I lost that phone.
yeah, it's a lot.
And yeah, so I didn't know. I'm still right now trying to figure out.
You can't,
Let's
because
go
you're
back
not
to
legally
pre-med.
connected to him. You're no longer
Yeah.
legally connected to him.
I was hold on. So hold on. So I was considered I was considered the beneficiary on her policy too.
Says who?
Since I heard I was considered the
He had
beneficiary.
no proof that she actually got it.
Do you know the name of the
No.
company?
No, she sent me the.
Right, but on the receipt, did they have the name of
He
it?
doesn't
I
have
lost
that.
the phone.
So if you, okay, so that's a separate conversation. So I.
Nah, that's lost. That's gone. That's gone.
No, but legally, so here it is.
He had his own insurance company.
Well, no, this is really what. So if you still have certain vitals of hers, it can be looked up. But if they discover, and they're not gonna review it, if you're not the next account, you weren't the beneficiary.
Yeah, I was the beneficiary.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you weren't, then there's nothing you can do, because you're legally not her next account. After you divorced, if she did not have adult children, it defaults back to her parents. So if you don't have adult children, your parents are your legal next account.
So I have adult children, and I was considered the beneficiary.
But she remarried,
You're
Sam.
not.
She got remarried. Again, she passed with a new husband. So you don't know what she done.
No, I was I told you I was paying.
You was shown the beneficiary before she got remarried.
But just to wrap this up, if she remarried, then her husband's her next account.
No,
Hold on, stop.
No, you
Stop.
they said,
No, I know, I heard
He
it.
said he gave her money
It
for
don't
the
matter.
policy.
It doesn't
yeah, I
matter.
paid for it. She separated.
It doesn't matter.
I was still paying her.
It doesn't matter, because if you weren't paying the policy directly, but you're giving her the money, the insurance company's like, you didn't pay on it. She was the one that paid on it.
But she sent me said something that I was beneficiary, don't do beneficiary or anything if anything happens.
Well, I'll be with
And
you
then
separate. I'll be with you
7 days
separate.
later, she passed.
Yeah, I'll be with you separate. And so, but legally, that money still sits there for 100 years. The insurance companies have to keep the money there in full for 100 years.
And also too, it accrues interest
Exactly.
as well.
Because I've done it for MetLife, where I found people after 15 years, the next account. They, or even looking at their bank, I was in the private.
Check out the claim funds,
Exactly.
just go online. If you work back to beneficiary, the money's still there.
Exactly.
And the interest too.
And you can't give it to, you can't give it to anybody else.
If you weren't,
So you pay.
then
Yeah, I know.
you guys had children, it'll go to the children. If she remarried, at the time, whoever, if she had a spouse at the time of her death, it goes to the spouse.
But if she already, but if she did put her on there, no matter what, if she was remarried, even if she did was married, and she put her on there, now I'm still a beneficiary.
If you're listed on their document, their paperwork, they have, then yes, you get a check. If they're not, it's not going to.
And yeah, I know for sure that I was listed as a beneficiary.
All right, that's it. All right, we're gonna write this up. Okay. Is the beneficiary responsible for paying the funeral bill?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Who said no?
I said no.
No, I don't think so.
Explanation.
Yeah.
For the yes or for the no?
For the no.
Oh.
The no is the answer. The
No, I say no because
Anybody can pay it.
it's not, that's your money. You're the beneficiary. You do what you want to do with the money. If you don't want to pay, you don't have to pay.
Go ahead, Peggy Lee.
That's the answer. When you make somebody beneficiary, you have left them cash money. With no responsibilities whatsoever. So
Wow.
understand that, when you leave people that you know is not fiscally prudent, do you think they're gonna pay for your funeral or something like that? When they heard they're getting $35,000. We'll never see them again. We'll go out of records, get a death certificate and file the paperwork. And they should
Wow.
be laying somewhere. All right, very good. So everybody understands that, right?
Yes.
And if you got a beneficiary that's deceased, get it changed Monday morning.
Every year, you guys should be pulling out the paperwork.
Amen.
Yes, right.
Beginning of the year, with
Mhm.
your first wife, and you really didn't like her.
What? I came in on that part.
Richard, loud, hold one teeth.
Mm.
So I'll share, let me share this quick story. So as an agent, I had this man passed away, he was remarried, he had 2 young kids. And he had a life insurance policy, about $100,000. So do the paperwork, city. And then I get got the delivery, because it's $100,000, the additional stuff you have to sign. And just so y'all know, insurance money is tax-free money. You don't pay all your taxes. So, so the paperwork comes in, but it wasn't the wife, it was 2 kids. It was his first wife. He forgot to remove his first wife.
Mm.
Because the second wife interfered with the first wife, and she kept all the money. And he also didn't take the first wife off the deed of the house. She got $100,000 people out the house.
Good. Go to them.
Now,
Man.
she got the woman, the 2 kids, he said, well, I said, when you go to Social Security, you can throw this out, and this is what you get. I said, well, there's nothing to it.
Oh, you saying so the second, hold on.
He should change his paperwork.
So the first wife got her.
Right. And she did.
Who?
He was first wife.
No,
Oh.
she passed it. She passed it. No, knocking on the door, get out my house. Get out my
Now,
house.
I heard with that social security for the 2 wives, they have to split it though.
No, it's not a split. Per part. So let's say you die and your benefit, or the spousal benefit is $2,500, each wife is $2,500.
Oh, social security.
And we were paying them back and forth.
Yeah.
That's why the social security system.
The only thing that's split is your kids have to split the child portion. But no, your wives do not have to split.
Is that a state thing?
That's a law, federal.
No, okay.
Federal.
I heard it was different.
Social Security,
Well, they get the same thing.
So
And we got the book, so you can review that, understand your social security benefits when
Create
You
your
will pass,
profile.
but you're gonna get just pass.
So in the federal government, that's different.
Right, depends
So
on
the
what
first
system
wife,
you're on.
it depends on the time. Right,
Depends on the system you're on.
right. So,
Some of y'all didn't pay into Social Security.
right, my wife, you know, we have 40 years. If we separate, the second wife won't get the Social Security. As far as the plan I was on in the federal government, the first wife would get it. Right.
Yeah, no way.
Now I just
10 years.
Cut.
Okay?
Cut.
Remember that, stay married 10 years.
right. That's it. That's it.
Just to be on the safe side, stay married. You're entitled to all the benefits.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Put up with it.
You can put up with her for 10 years.
Yeah, but so no, that's how we tell you guys, check your paperwork, check your deeds, because, you know,
If you put up with her for 10 years and you don't want to be with her, right? You put up with her for 10 years, just so you can, you know, get benefits. But she must around and live 60 more years.
Right.
Now what?
Dirk is crazy.
I'm talking about a few more years.
Somebody going to something.
but you hit 62, you still pay your benefits. And whatever, if you're ready to retire, and you go to sit there and you do your retirement, you'll see who Social Security pays out the most, and you go ahead and just take it. Don't wait, so that's it, right now it's 62, you start taking it at 62.
Take it at 62. That's what I did. My husband got there. I took mine. I talked to them. He said, your benefits gonna be higher than his. No problem. I want his now. And then when I turned 65, I took mine.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So you pull all that. Wait a minute, say that.
His benefit was less than mine, but he died before. He died at 60. I was 60 when he died.
Okay,
So I could start collecting his benefit because he was retired.
okay.
But then when she looked at me, she said, do you plan on retiring? I said, well, I'll go at 65. She said, well, she checked it out. She said, oh, your benefit's gonna be higher than his. You can't keep both. I'll take mine and not his.
You can't have both.
Mm-mm.
So you would take mine.
And
But
it goes,
you was able to
and
get
it
his.
is, right, I'll give it to his up until.
Oh,
Right, and his been higher than mine, I think because they give you a, in between the two, but you have to talk to Social Security. They'll tell you, if he passes today, you're still living, and both of you are retired, you're entitled to some of his too. Depending on how much his is. His is less, don't worry about his,
Okay,
keep yours.
right, okay.
But if his is more, then I will all of it, because you have some too. They're gonna give you some needed. Balance it out. Yeah, but just talk to Social Security.
Okay.
They'll tell you. And that's what you told me, I said, right
Create an
there.
online portal right now, and it'll tell you all your benefits.
Okay.
You go to print out, and they'll tell you.
I had Social Security counselor, so I.
And we have the paperwork on how to set up your online Social Security account.
Okay.
And
Already done that.
and see what your benefits are. It'll tell you today what your death benefit is to your family, if you have a spouse, if you have children, blah, blah, blah. What your benefit would be today, if you took your check today. But you have to go online, so we can give it to you. Okay. What paperwork do you need to get your VA benefits? Any veterans in here?
It's 14. Yes.
Okay, you know your answer. You raise your hand.
Yeah, that's a discharge.
What else?
You still need that.
You need that. You need your discharge papers, which is a DD 214, and you need something else.
That's it.
What do you need to get your VA benefits? DD 214. Your DD 214.
And the birth certificate.
ID.
Your ID.
We need your driver's license. We have to establish your residency and who you are with your driver's license
Oh,
and your DD 214. That's all they ask.
How long does your insurance that you pay for in the military. Like,
We haven't talked to them about. I know one thing, they don't pay funeral homes out of there.
No, they don't.
They only pay the beneficiary.
so you pay for insurance while you're in the military, right? But then when you got out of the military,
It starts to decrease. So what is it? So my uncle, he was a house, he was Navy, he was able to get like $10,000.
so none of your benefits. So if you paid like you purchased the highest policy that they can that you can't get in the insurance, you just run out of high. You had your people
It starts, if you read the back of it, once you leave and you retire from the military, it starts to decrease. In the military, so what they were as the years go.
Same thing with the federal government.
Exactly. So he was
So they federal.
right. So
Because they federal, you
in
right.
Vietnam, so the remaining balance that she was able to get was like $10,000. Right. You probably started higher than it. So that's like the third one I've seen from the Vietnam where it was here $10,000.
Back to the VA. If we want to prearrange your burial in Maryland at a veteran cemetery, you go to the cemetery and get the paperwork, and then look at we'll pre-app, and we'll go and get you approved, pre-approved.
So, yeah, but you still have to. Military don't bury you. It's just partial.
Okay? Good question. The military does not do it. True or false?
That's true. No, they don't. Now, it made a difference between an officer and
The military will pay for your plot, opening, closing, government liner, and total marker. If you're down in action, you're gonna pay to have you brought here, they'll pay for
that's what I said.
for training.
Like, if you are in the military, they don't pay for you. If you service member, it's different.
It's an honorable discharge, or if you're DD 214, they don't pay for the cemetery. And in Maryland, they'll pay for the spouse also free of charge.
That's my last question. So earlier, Dr. June was saying that they wasn't we not gonna cremate you. Y'all was putting up some money. we not gonna cremate you, Dirk.
Yeah.
Y'all was putting some money out for the
No.
opposite.
We'll do a sidebar. Because me and his wife, we're not going to cremate him, but we're going to just do that on the sidebar. You can go ahead and continue.
The last question is, if you don't have any money, who pays for your funeral? Social Security or your church?
Social Security. Social Security give you that $255. Social Security give you $255. Oh, you do? Juanita.
Nobody gonna pay for it.
Give me your cards. Give me.
I have no cards. I only have my number and my website.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second.
And that they are giving $20,000 in case for seniors burial. Yeah. I got about 10.
No, one question. Excuse me for 1 second. Juanita have to leave. So if anyone wanted to talk to her about anything, you can go out in the library and talk to her because she has to leave.
She's absolutely right. If you don't have any money.
There's people out there. He went.
Come to the funeral home and he say, we don't have any money.
and all my stuff is
What you gonna do?
Okay.
Call some friends and relatives.
Go out there, Sonny, go out
Social Security
there.
is given to the surviving spouse, not until $255 to hold them until they process their payment, if there is a spouse. Pastor said, he's not paying no funeral.
But that's why we having this here
That's why we
seminar,
have it.
so that everybody can have the opportunity today to make pre-arrangements, amen? Don't depend on the church. That's just not fair.
Right.
You know you're gonna leave here. Amen, and if you leave in the rapture, they gonna meet you at the gate, depending on which gate you go.
Get your refund on your.
I know that's, go ahead, girl. Do what you got to do.
Seriously, honestly, I'm glad the church does this. But, you know, it's a burden on the church to have to do it because we fail to be, it's our responsibility to take it as adults. Sometimes you turn 18, you have a responsibility as an adult to start looking out. Got a job, 2 jobs, something. You know, you out there in the street, we all know that.
What happened to Al?
Here's somebody, y'all find out you have a free baby, here's someone. Because we are responsible.
Oh, and then to piggyback too, because I met with a family too, and they had, their son was in jail. And so you still have to make plans for your loved one in jail. You can't get a full life insurance policy because they're incarcerated, but you still have to do funeral and, cemetery. Right.
And pre-arrangement.
You can do pre-arrangements, so they'll call you.
When you have pre-arrangements, and say that you're, like, say, for instance, a husband and wife, and you start pre-arrangements, if the husband or wife, let's say, comes to paying,
Just like I explained, but it depends on what year you're in the pre-arrangement. We do ours, we're going into premium insurance. Covered from day one, if you have to answer health questions, say, yeah, I have already.
I'm saying that's for that one, I'm saying if that person
The first one,
has.
because each person has their own fair individual. Your husband and wife don't go together.
Right.
Okay, even if they go together, you still need 2 separate people. Even if they die together, they're 2 separate entities. Each has to have their own separate
Okay, like,
paperwork.
without, like, maybe you got 3 clocks.
Lots, cemetery is
No,
totally
I'm
different than
saying
the funeral home.
everything was together, meaning, with the funeral home and the, you know, you pass it all of that stuff. And what I'm saying is, under part, because that's still separate from the funeral part, I'm talking about the cemetery. And it has to be paid off before
You
you
have to
can
look at your
bury
contract
it.
with that cemetery. What did they,
Okay.
what was it done under? Was theirs strictly a cash thing, I'm coming in once a month to pay cash on this, and then when it's done, it's paid for? See?
Okay, I see.
Whereas I'm not that person, I don't do pre-arrangement, you just come and say, you know, and you give me $50 this month, and I get some more money.
No,
I'm doing, but some people
But
don't
some
do that,
they
they
do
do that in the
that,
South a
Well,
lot.
ours is basically
Yeah,
almost
you're
paid off.
right.
Period.
So if you're only doing
So, yeah, 'cause
50,
we do
50,
month,
50,
no,
month,
no, we
whatever.
do what
Right.
worked out.
I'm doing the pre-need,
Month to month, every month. And now I think we're investing almost maybe $1,800. Less, $1,800
you have to
back.
ask them what their contract is. Am I still responsible for the $1,800 if one of us passed right now?
Okay,
It depends on how that contract is written.
I just wanna know if that person, if the spouse, one spouse passes, that 1,800 has to be paid before they can bury.
I don't know, we have to find out from them.
Okay.
Usually,
Oh,
once
okay.
I work that, everything has to be paid for. Has to be paid, because now we put it in a corporation,
Uh-huh.
everything has to be paid for.
Okay,
You still owe the $1,800.
Okay, okay.
I'm glad she said that because I had did a policy on my dad, and it was a $20,000 policy or $10,000 policy. But my dad passed. I just started it, and my dad passed like 3 months
Into the policy.
into the policy. And
So
what they
it's called contestable. You
exactly
gotta live 2 years.
Right. And that's what they told me. They told me when I went to talk to them, they said, you know, Mr. Cotton, we're so sorry that there's nothing we could do right now because your father did not live past the 2 year period.
Get the premiums back.
Right. So that's what I got. They gave me back that part of it. Yeah. But thank God, you know, he had insurance and stuff. But I just got another policy on it.
Yeah, when they get to, I try to tell people, after a certain age, getting insurance policy, traditional whole life insurance, really doesn't make sense.
Right.
You're supposed to be planning for your retirement
Mhm.
and your prearranged plan. That locks in the prices you're done. But trying to get a $20,000 policy on an 80-year-old makes no sense.
Right.
Yeah, amen.
Right.
They need to hear that.
Yeah, you just trying to get yourself.
That's it. That's it.
They're not gonna live long enough to
Yeah,
live.
those payments like $230 a month.
Yeah, the premium's gonna be really high, and if you're gonna pay that, you might as well put it in that. Go get your money market and put it in something. Yeah, you're supposed to be taking that money, enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a prearranged funeral. Stay on that.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear that.
No.
Well, why can't I leave them some money? Who you trying to leave money for?
Right.
You gotta leave my daughter money, she's 41. Okay. Teach you how to run this.
Yeah.
Graveside.
Daughter 41 is leaving no money.
Right.
That's what gave me wisdom at the meeting. I said, I'm giving all these people, no, just leave money to my wife. That's it.
That's what she prearranged.
For what? Let them, they grown.
Yeah, you go. Let them do their own. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
2 people from the church came, the pastor, and me.
Mhm.
Why have a big church service? Let's do that. I mean, you know, that's what we couldn't mess up, do a graveside, so we had a nice little service right there, it was beautiful weather Monday. And everybody was happy. I hope she was happy. But at some point in time, we out.
I think people tend to go over the top. You know, they with their emotions and everything, with the funeral, you know, doing.
That's what I'm saying.
It,
It's emotional overspending.
yeah, it is.
It's emotional and then guilt.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Yeah.
and we see that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to help or assist with that, and it's you're getting what you want, not what they want to give you. What is what you want.
Because you know, it was a time when people, like when my mom passed, we had to go out. We went out, bought new this, new that, new this. Nowadays, if you got a night, like I told my husband, let me show you the dress that I have in the closet. Put that in the cleaners. I'm gonna put the plastic bag over it. And when that time come, if I go before you, put that dress on me because I look good in that dress. At first, when we was at Expectation, another church, I said if I die before, you know, while I'm still doing what I'm doing, I was an usher, I was the president, I was over the usher ministry. I said, put me in my uniform, my usher uniform, and my little hat, my white hat, because we was wearing hats, you know, different type. I said, put me in my white hat. That's what I want to be buried in, my usher uniform, because that lets you know I was a doorkeeper for the Lord. And when I come to the pearly gates, he say, here she come, my doorkeeper.
Her whole wig, her outfit, and everything, her
What?
earrings, her jewelry.
Hey, look, wait a minute, Shamari, because look, that was my thought just the other day. I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to put my best wig aside because I got to make sure they don't put me in any kind of wig. They got to know the kind of wig that fits me.
What is this you brought in here?
Mm-hmm.
It's dirty and it need to be clean. Go get another one. No, this was her favorite. I don't care. She's not going to casket in there.
Right.
Go get another wig.
So that's what I'm saying. You write it out to a T. There's no,
This is
no
look,
wrong way to do it.
Hey,
whatever
P.
you want.
this is my favorite right here.
Okay.
Mm. It's my girlfriend right here, my best friend. So I will have it washed and clean. Okay. And my
When you
and my
start going
head.
down, say, hold on. Press that real quick. Right there.
Yeah.
Get ready to go.
That's right. Mhm.
I guess we're done with the questions, we'll do lunch.
I guess-
But thank you guys.
Look, we got lunch
Thank
here.
you
We
so
got
much.
Yeah, but any questions, anything?
And then if you guys wanna start making appointments, y'all come see me, on my calendar.
So are y'all closing out? Y'all going to close out?
Bye, everybody.
Oh.
Yes, they do. Get the negative feedback. But thank y'all so much for coming.
For sharing.